And I'm joined by Les. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you, Mike?
It's good to see you again.
It's been a long time since we were down in Sydney.
Yeah, well, we're going to do that again, and soon.
I'm up for it.
Man, well, you know how much I love your glass. I just think it's some of the best glass in the world, if not the best glass in the world. How's it been going?
I like the latter one, the latter comment there.
Oh, it is. It's magnificent. I mean, it's industry defining.
It's been going well. You know, we now have 3 families: the 5Is at 1.4, of course the S4s at T2, and then last year we introduced the Panchros at T2.8.
You know, it's actually those that I wanted to talk to you about, because I was under the misunderstanding that you had resurrected a previous lens design.
Yeah. Because
the name it's a long history in the industry.
Sure, and that was probably a mistake on my part. I more aptly should have called them Mini S4s or S4 Mini, because they're really a brand new design built from the ground up. The old Panchros were great lenses, and one of the things people love about the old Panchros is they're really soft and fuzzy, very sharp on axis, and the field drops off very quickly. Now, we've kept a lot of the things that people love about the Cooke look in the S4s, obviously, and the 5s, and also the Panchros. But this is a brand new design, and it's far more, it's really related as a Mini S4.
So tell me what the range of lenses are.
Currently, we have an 18, a 25, 32, 50, 75, and 100. Okay. We've announced here at the show a 135, which will be out later in the year. And then we've had a lot of requests for some mid-range lenses, so we're considering that, and so we probably will, over the next year or two, fill in quite a few lenses in the Panchro line.
So I like them because they're so small. I know that sounds like an obvious statement, but there is really something gorgeous about being able to sort of move around quickly, especially some of the work that we've been doing with like the Epic, for example. We've got it on F3 here, which is a really interesting camera in its own right, and the fact that it takes your glass.
Not only does it take the glass, but it also has the metadata system. It incorporates the eye metadata system, which is, I think, going to be a great combination.
Yeah, so what we mean by that is that as the lens is running, it is literally feeding in what the lens is doing.
That's correct.
Which, from my point of view as a visual effects guy, is just insanely cool.
Yeah.
So, the F3, obviously really good camera. I've had it on the Epic today. We've been shooting some disabled basketball players. It's just terrific to be able to be that flexible, especially on something where you're not sort of setting people on their marks and making them move around and stuff. Now, in my case, we were shooting outside. It was really sunny, so that's great. I've got to say, at 2.8, can I twist your arm? Is there any chance that you might continue with this product line but go for a faster, smaller format?
No, we currently... Now, we took a lot of heat when we introduced the Panchros because of the speed. And of course, people want faster, but don't get something free in optics. So faster right now is, I already make S4s that are T2.
You absolutely do.
Now, I understand you want things smaller and faster. And
we want it all.
You want it all, that's right. So you don't get anything free in optics. So would we consider doing it? If I told you what we were considering, I'd probably have to kill you. So,
okay. Well, let's say I was really interested in these ones, which I am. How much am I looking at? What's the sort of price range on these lenses?
The set for the current 6 lenses in U.S. dollars is about $42,500.
42,000. Okay. Well, that's good.
Actually, it's not about it. It is.
Okay. And will you sell me the lenses individually if I just wanted to pick up some in the range?
Yeah. It would be slightly more expensive if you could buy them individually.
On a per lens basis.
But
right. And those other lenses you're talking about, the 135 and those other ones, they'd probably be sold individually then,
absolutely.
Right? And so this would be a standard pack.
Yeah.
And so in terms of just curvature and stuff, obviously we're shooting action, so it's a little hard to tell. How well are we going in terms of resolving out the edges? And
if you were shooting at T2.8, you shouldn't be able to tell whether you shot with a 5i, an S4, or a Panchros.
Music to my ears.
We really made these. We did not make a cheap set of lenses. What we made is Cooke quality as inexpensively as we could, but we wouldn't put our name on it unless we could give you the Cooke look and the Cooke performance that you've come to expect.
Because that's where I was heading with this, because what I want to know is if I had a unit that was doing more run and gun, but I was then intercutting it with studio work, where obviously I'd be happy on the S4s and S5s.
We just wrapped in London a film, Hugo Cabaret, shot by Bob Richardson, and directed by Martin Scorsese. Big 3D film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hundreds of, I'm sure they blew hundreds of millions on it. But they used 2 sets of 5s, 2 sets of 4s, and 2 sets of Panchros.
Wow.
It was the first film ever actually that used all 3 families of lenses simultaneously, all intercut all matched. So we really went to great lengths to make sure, as I said, if you're shooting 2.8 or slower, you shouldn't know whether it was shot on a 5, a 4, or a Panchros.
Because in that example of 3D, of course, it is a real bonus to be able to get the weight and the size down, because it all just factors into the rig and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I can imagine that'd be cool. Well, thank you so much.
Mike, always a pleasure.